Hey y'all, I just want to get into Monique response. Now, Monique and her son had a back and forth on live, and they've already expressed, how they felt about each other. But I just seen a video of Monique, and her response was completely different from Time Will Tell. And let me just play the clip.
Wrong. But I ain't no business gonna back up from a motherfucking problem. I'ma walk straight to that motherfucker and I'ma deal with that shit. So today I'm coming to the airport in Newark, New Jersey. It's the realest niggas I've ever met from Newark, New Jersey. I'm coming to that motherfucking airport and I done just seen this motherfucking TikTok of my goddamn son. Had I known that nigga was gonna do a TikTok the day I brought him home, I'm gonna let y'all take that one. Sorry, and when you see your child that you fuck for, I fuck for that nigga, not another bitch, it was me. And you see your motherfucking child go on a goddamn internet and tell people all the fuck that you're not. Fuck that. And you just supposed to take that shit in stride. And I'm taking that shit in stride. And I'm walking through the motherfucking...
That's somebody in the video, y'all. That is not me in the back.
Newark Airport, and this elderly woman comes up to me. She said, Monique. I said, ma'am. Because I'm a respectful bitch, baby. I'm a respect this bitch. She old. She said, let me talk to you for a minute. So I had prepared myself for this old woman to tell me how fucked up I was. I prepared myself to be respectful, but to check a bitch if I had to. I prepared myself to listen. She said, listen, my grandbaby called me and told me to watch this goddamn TikTok of your son. And I watched that shit. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, I want to tell you something. I said, ma'am. She said, fuck that nigga. And when the elderly people tell you fuck that nigga, you ain't fuck that nigga. She said you been taking care of that nigga all his life.
Oh, we gonna discuss. Don't trip. I'm just gonna let it play out.
Fucking life. She said, Monique, I'm 80 years old and I got a son 60 years old. And every time that nigga don't get what he want, he still tell me how fucked up I was when he was 10 years old. Fuck that nigga. Fuck them kids, bitch. Word. They grown now. And she said to me, she said, see, when I was a younger woman, Monique, I had to work too, goddammit. She said, and this is Black History Month, and I had to do a job that don't nobody talk about. When they was out there in that civil rights march fighting and shit, I had a job to do. She said, I was one of the hoes of the civil rights movement. I said, bitch, I'm not playing with you. She said, somebody had to keep them niggas trained. Apologize if I've done something wrong.
Let's pause there, right? I don't know about y'all, but if a parent messes up the relationship, it is the parent's job to fix it. It's not time. It's not, oh, well, maybe he'll come through. No, it is your job. You brought them here and created a broken relationship. So it's your job to fix the broken relationship. And of course, the older generation is going to tell you to F them kids. And here's my theory on that. Let me know if y'all think I'm wrong. I feel like the boomer generation, those were the kids of the civil rights movement, right? So they seen their parents go through a lot of things. And so when they snapped on them, they allowed them to just get away with that, right? Because they're like, mom and dad are dealing with so many other more things. So I think they let that slide. And I think they took that and thought, oh, when I become an adult, I can now curse people out and do people wrong, and they're going to accept it because they're going to understand that I'm an adult now and I go through things. I just don't think it's the same. I understand why y'all gave people grace who were called boy when they was outside as a man. I can understand that aspect, right? And I'm not saying that things are just so much better, but it's not to that point to where you kind of just let grandma just curse everybody out, right? Because she's seen so much, she experienced so much, she has every right to do that. And I feel like the generation under that generation kind of saw that and thought that, yeah, I can just disrespect my kids and I can just be rude and mean to my kids and have no accountability. I just completely disagree with how she's handling this and the way she's downplaying this. And for her to say, like, I gave him everything, he didn't have to lack for anything, honestly, that's not enough for a child. A child needs, emotional needs. They need to know how to deal with their emotions, how to cope with certain things. It's so much more than just food, water, and clothes, right? That's kind of like how you treat your pet, right? I fed them. They got food for the day. They ate. They in the crib. They got electricity. They straight. No, that's not how you treat a person with feelings and trying to navigate things. You're supposed to be teaching that child that. But for her to tell him that I did my part and okay, now you got to figure it out, I just don't think that's right. But I want to replay it and kind of just stop and pause it and just go through some of the stuff she said.
But I ain't no New Jersey. Had I known that they was going that you fuck for. I fuck for that nigga, not another bitch. It was me. And you see your motherfucking child go on a goddamn internet and tell people all the fuck that you're not. Oh, fuck that little bitch.
Now pause that. I will say that Monique was not the person who brought up her older son. It was Shannon Sharp. So Shannon Sharp asked Monique a question. She answered it publicly. And if my story that I felt was being incorrectly shown, I feel like the son had the right to explain his part, right? So with him getting on TikTok, it's not like he brought it randomly, right? She brought it up when she responded to Shannon Sharp, and I feel like the son has every right to respond to that.
I'm supposed to take that shit in stride, and I'm taking that shit in stride, and I'm walking through the motherfucking Newark Airport, and this.
And I also want to say the son was very clear on his words. He was very clear. He brought experiences. He brought examples. He was very clear on what he was expecting from his mom and the thing that he's lacked and the things that he's asking for.
Elderly woman comes up to me. She said, Monique. I said, ma'am. Because I'm a respectful bitch, baby. I'm a respect this bitch. She old. She said, let me talk to you for a minute. So I had prepared myself for this old woman to tell me how fucked up I was. I prepared myself to be respectful, but to check a bitch if I had to. I prepared myself to listen.
You see how she said, I prepared myself to check a bitch if I had to, but I didn't. So even that as an adult, if she disrespects you, you still have the right to speak up. But let's keep going.
She said, listen, my grandbaby called me and told me to watch this goddamn TikTok of your son. And I watched that shit. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, I want to tell you something. I said, ma'am. She said, fuck that nigga. I said, oh, bitch, fuck that nigga. That part.
And if we don't stop that whole F his feelings, F y'all feelings, F y'all's feelings, what generation is actually going to get a chance to heal this stuff, right? Because I do understand it didn't start with Monique. It started way years before this whole family pathology of just dismissing a person's feelings because they're younger than you, right? I think at some point, this generation, the Gen X, and my generation, the millennials, are kind of just looking back at all of them like, wait a minute, y'all. Y'all feelings do matter. Yes, we have to just go through life and survive, but if we can't create a safe space within our family, where is the safe space? Because it's not outside. It's not outside by any means.
And when the elderly people tell you, fuck that nigga, you ain't fuck that nigga.
And as a millennial, I see the cause and effect of all of this. And this is not something that I want to continue. And I know the older generation, it might be hard because it's like we did the best we can. We understand that y'all use the tools that y'all had. And I understand that. But we're seeing that and was like, can we tweak this now that we have a little bit more resources here? Can we tweak this now that we're able to do these things here? You know, but let's keep going.
She said, you been taking care of that nigga all his motherfucking life. She said, Monique, I'm 80 years old, and I got a son 60 years old. And every time that nigga don't get what he want, he still tell me how fucked up I was when he was 10 years old. Fuck that nigga.
And it's so crazy how we downplay it because most of adult traumas come from childhood. Most of the adult issues come from childhood. So I would think as a child you will want to explain certain things so they understand, and you will want to break certain things down. Not it's because I said so. Now they don't even have the emotional tool to make a decision because they're just going off what you said, and they're not able to think for themselves and ask questions because in some household it's deemed disrespectful. Not that you're trying to understand and learn where you're coming from, which can be a good teachable moment for kids. Is mainly, no, don't worry about it. You know, I'm an adult, you're the child. But it's like, right, I'm a child, so break it down to me. Let me know why, you know, why I need to know this, etc. Make sure y'all like, follow, and put y'all notifications on because I be coming on randomly when I see shit. I just go on a rant. Let's keep going.
Fuck them kids, bitch. Word. They grown now.
And let's stop there. What do you mean they grown now? I don't understand that. So y'all be having kids just to have them at 18 and say you on your own. That is wild to me. Let's keep going.
And she said to me, she said, see, when I was a young
Now don't get me wrong, as an 18-year-old, you should be holding some type of responsibility. But to kind of just, you're on your own, you don't need my help, figure it out, I think that's just another pathology that needs to be stopped. Because not only do we have to deal with certain things as being a black community that the other community don't even have to deal with, the other community actually has help. They're not kicking their kids out at 18. And I'm not saying all black people do, don't get me wrong, because my mom ain't kicked me out at 18. But they don't kick them out, and they have safe spaces, you know, to grow into what they really want to do. And even then, the parents still help. So this on your own, because I thought that the younger generation, it was supposed to be easier for them. So to me, that just seems counterproductive to kick them out at 18, don't know nothing about credit, knows nothing about banking, knows nothing about how taxes work, but you got to go. To me, that's just counterproductive. But let's keep going with the video. It's not that much longer.
She said, and this is Black History Month, and I had to do a job that don't nobody talk about. When they was out there in that civil rights march fighting and shit, I had a job to do. She said I was one of the hoes of the civil rights.
Okay, I know she's joking about the whole situation, but that's what I was talking about. I understand why they allow the older generation with them to just kind of just go off the hinges, right? Because they were dealing with entirely too much, and then they had no idea how to cope and how to deal with that. So I understand that. But again, I feel like they saw that, took that, and was like, oh, when I become an adult, I can just say whatever and do whatever. And that's the problem, because the younger generation is like, no, I understand you're older than me, but that does not mean that you can disrespect me. You know, respect goes both ways. And I don't understand the mindset. Like, even if you're in your 30s, I'm 29. And I would have some older generation say, you know, little girl, or you're a child, or just try to diminish the work that I have done in my 20s. It's just, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not mad at them personally because I know this is a generational thing. It didn't start with them. This is something that's been going on for some time now. But yeah, y'all, I just want to go on a little rant. It has to get that out my system because I cannot believe Monique. Like, when she was in the video, it was all, I'm going to give it time, and, you know, he can come to me anytime. After seeing that video, your son is never going to talk to you, bro. Because you're not taking his healing seriously at all. But that's all I gotta say. Like I said, I just wanted to go on my little yeah, my little rant. Make sure y'all follow my YouTube, Dark Skin Queen 2.0, where I post 3 to 4 videos a day and randomly pop up. So y'all have a good Sunday. Bye.